The next and final step on our setup journey is installing a text editor. The text editor is the program in which we're actually going to be writing our Ruby code. Now, in this lesson, we're going to be downloading and installing Visual Studio Code, which is also known as VS Code. This is a popular open source free text editor. It supports Ruby, but also dozens of other languages. And it's also funded and developed in part by Microsoft, which is a good thing because it has the backing of a major corporation behind it. Now, you might be curious, can I use a regular text editing software like TextEdit or maybe Microsoft Word to write code? And the answer is maybe technically you could, but it's generally not a good idea. These text editor programs are built for the specific purpose of writing code, and they're going to give you different advantages and bits of help as you're writing your code to make the experience more enjoyable for you. For example, professional text editors can identify when you've made a bug or a mistake or inefficiency. Professional text editors will use things like color and indentation and highlighting to segment and isolate different parts of your code. We can even see an example of this in the picture right here on the right. This is not in Ruby. This is in another language called JavaScript. We can see how it sort of isolates and focuses different sections of syntax of code on the screen that makes it more visually enjoyable, but more importantly than that, it gives you a better understanding of what is going on, helps your eye locate different pieces of code on the screen depending on the context in which they're being used, etc. The point is there's different pieces of writing software for different use cases, and you need a real text editor to actually be writing code. Now, if you happen to be familiar with another text editor and you prefer to use that one throughout the course, you are more than welcome to. But if you are just starting out, I think VS Code is a phenomenal choice. It's great for beginners. It's great for professionals. It's highly customizable. Like I said, it's been around for quite some time and has major support behind it, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I think it represents a great choice for your first text editor if you are starting out. So to download this, you can go to code.visualstudio.com, and right here on the front page, the browser should automatically detect what operating system you are running on. So I am recording this on a Mac and you're on a Mac too. So you can see it will say download Mac Universal. The reason it says Universal is it supports both MacBooks running on Intel chips as well as Apple's M1 chips, M2 chips, and Apple's own brand, right? So regardless of what kind of Mac you have, this download should suffice. So I'm going to click this button to download VS Code. That's going to take us to this page, and that's going to start a download of this zip file. Depending on your internet connection, that could take a couple minutes. Once you have the zip file in your browser, you can double click it or simply double click that in your folder where the file has been downloaded to. And let me just bring over my other screen here. So it should look something like this. Once you unzip the zip file by double clicking in it, you'll see the Visual Studio Code application right here in your folder. And all you have to do after that is simply click it and drag it to your applications folder. There we go. So I'm going to go into applications, find Visual Studio Code down below, double click it to open it, and just verify that it opened successfully. All right, it's going to say Visual Studio Code is an app downloaded from the internet. Of course it is. Yep, this is basically just a security warning. I'm just going to click open, and that should launch the editor. Keep in mind, very much like the terminal, there are ways that you can aesthetically customize what VS Code looks like. So its color theme, its font, things like that. So if your editor looks different from mine visually, don't worry, it's totally fine. You're probably just launching the editor with its default theme, and I have a custom one here. Totally fine. As long as the editor opens successfully, then the application has been successfully installed and you're good to go. And the other bit of good news at this juncture is this is the part of the installation process where we're basically going to be able to meet up with our friends in the Windows community and continue forward because the installation process kind of syncs up here. This is the place where it converges, and moving forward, all of the stuff we're going to learn in this course that is Ruby specific will work on any operating system. So congratulations, you've reached the end of the installation and setup process on your macOS computer. Once again, you can feel free to skip the Windows lessons immediately after these batch of videos, and I will see you in the video immediately after those where we're going to set up a couple extensions for VS Code. So I'll see you there.